Boom. We are alive, ladies and gentlemen. It is good to be here again. I missed you all. I hope you know that. I hope you guys know that I missed you. If you didn't, now you do, because I just told you. Anyways, the markets are so exciting. There are so many incredible things taking place. I've seen so many people make money off dog coins lately that I love dogs. Anyways, the point of this story is we're going to go over some charts this evening. I know it's been a little while since we've been online with you guys. So we're going to take a long time tonight. This is going to be an extraordinarily long episode in comparison with our short episodes. We are going to go over as many ideas as we possibly can. I've blocked out over an hour with you guys. We'll do some more single chart updates. So for those of you that would like us to go over just the specific coins, we're going to be doing that more and more frequently because so many of you guys have enjoyed that. We've got such great feedback about those shorter updates. But because it's the evening time, and I'm just gonna jam out, and we're just gonna go over the markets here in general. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna start by looking at our favorite and our leader asset, Bitcoin. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin, our underlying collateral layer asset. Now, right now, I'm zoomed in on the 4-hour here. Probably not the greatest spot. You can tell. I'm going to show you what I was looking at. So just as a quick update, we've been following this rising gradient trading range for quite some time, and we've been building a nice base right around the point of control. So this red line that comes through here is called the POC. This is the point of control. And right now what it does is it shows us the visible range for the amount of buying and selling that has taken place. And this red line represents like the exact price where the majority of that buying and selling has taken place. Now, as I zoom out, that point of control will change. So the reason that happens is because the visible data in the volume changes depending on where we're looking. But right now, we just want to focus on this particular trading range. We are still extraordinarily bullish in these markets. And as we build up around this area, we also want to note something else that's extraordinarily, or at least I think it's important. It's these two green lines here. These represent our buying climax, and just below our buying climax, this is the top of our Wyckoff trading range, these two green lines, and right down the center of that is the point of control. It is almost poetic, if one would be so kind to say that charts could be poetic. And we've built this new trading range inside of these two green lines here, and right across the red line. So we're hitting a little bit of, we've been jumping up and down and back and around the point of control here for almost 2 weeks now, I guess. Geez, let's see here. Yeah, 15 days basically. And what's fun is that these are some of the moments when it gets boring almost, right? Everyone's been excited about Ethereum and altcoins exploding, and we're going to go over that. But ultimately, I'm really excited here because when Bitcoin gets boring, it allows the other tokens to move, but often a lot of people will leave Bitcoin and go into other assets, which means that generally right now what we're witnessing is retail buying or mostly retail selling. So a lot of this has been retail selling. Even this big spring down that we had was mostly retail selling. Like, for instance, if we go over here, I want to open this up, go into our private group here. I want to share something from our private group. This is a little bit of data that this is from Glassnode. So this is the day over day miner accumulation and distribution area. So as you can see back in December, and this is likely for tax reasons, we've gone over this. Everyone was, oh my God, F2 pool is dumping, blah, blah. I'm sure you guys remember that moment. But here between December 28th and January 25th, we saw a large amount of the miners taking profit. And this is likely to cover the fact that they have a business to run. Now here on the right-hand side of the paper or chart, I guess who uses paper anymore really? Between April 5th and today, miners have been accumulating. Now, why is this important? Who cares what the miners are doing, you might think to yourself. What does it matter? Well, it's actually very, very important to recognize, and for a few reasons. So here, right now, we are about to open up our favorite charts on the Bitcoin stock to flow deflection model. So when we're generally measuring Bitcoin, one of the things that's important to note is that the stock to flow model represents basically the average cost of Bitcoin to mine and then the cost that it's being sold at that particular moment. So here we can see all the way back to May 2019, but let's focus on this area between September and May. So only twice has Bitcoin been overvalued in terms of what it costs to mine versus what it costs to buy. Every time you see this green here, which is the majority of the area that we see right now, is actually cheaper to buy Bitcoin than it is to mine it. So why have the miners been accumulating? Because it is actually in their best interest when the prices are this low to continue to only accumulate. Let's see here, there we go. So let's look at the last few weeks of the Bitcoin stock to flow deflection model. We have been massively undervalued. And if we actually look all the way back down to 2018, this area of around 0.5, which is these big dips here, here, and here, this is about the lowest Bitcoin has cost in terms of its cost to produce, right? Remember that. When it's in the red here, it actually is overvalued to what it costs to mine. So the miners are usually where they start to sell when it's in the red. And as a matter of fact, if you look at these areas here, January, boom, what do we see? Selling, boom. And then if we look again, February 20th, boom, lots of selling here as well. So both January and February, when we were overvalued on the stock to flow deflection model, they were selling a fair amount of Bitcoin onto the open market. But pretty much every day since then, and specifically around March 13th of this year, the miners have been in accumulation mode only. And this is because it is, again, cheaper for it to be bought on the open market. Now, one of the next things we really like to do is go over and just get a general grasp of two more things: the exchange balance percent total. So this is going to show us the amount of Bitcoin that there is on the open market today. And let's just for fun show a longer time frame. So here is March 11th, the highlighted date right now, which is a big spike of supply came onto the market. This was our spring effectively. And every day since then, Bitcoin has been leaving the open market and exchange. Now, we're actually at a fairly unique point the last 2 weeks where, let's highlight this. Bitcoin has actually jumped, and we've seen more supply come onto the market the last 2 weeks. And I love this. This is so beautiful, because when we know it's not the miners, the people who produce the majority of the open supply of Bitcoin, we know that what we're witnessing for the sale right now has to be retail. All of this dump is generally retail. Even when we look at Grayscale's day over day holding, which we will do now. So Grayscale, obviously one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin. I think they have some 100,000 Bitcoin. Let's put this to a bar chart, be a bit nicer. And we'll zoom in. We will show January through May, the same dates we're watching. You can see that since February, Grayscale has been selling about 100 Bitcoin a day, which is not a lot. Right? It's only 100 Bitcoin a day, which is okay for one person. Maybe that's a lot. That feels like a lot, but in general, it's not. But they've been selling day over day, and if you look, it actually looks like it increases drastically. Now, what's interesting is that the amount of selling of their Bitcoin on the previous days has decreased as well. So they're selling less Bitcoin on May 10th and May 11th. We don't have data for May 12th yet, but what's important about this, when we know that the miners are holding, Grayscale has reduced their selling, maybe down to like, what is this, 30 Bitcoin per day. Yeah, there's 160, and now they're at 130. Before that, they were at 270, which is about 100. Yeah, so, and here, they actually stayed flat for 3 days. They didn't sell at all for 3 days. And they, again, another 3 days. So they've been actually reducing their sales over the last 2 weeks. This has to be coming from general retail investors. And what's probably the most exciting part about this is when the retail investors are selling, they're usually letting go of Bitcoin to jump into Ethereum at these higher prices. Right? So like, oh my God, Bitcoin's boring. Why have I been in Bitcoin? I'm going to sell it. And so you see these drops are generally coming from retail investors kind of making poor decisions, right? So the retail investors are selling and Bitcoin's price keeps testing this area. and miners keep holding, and Grayscale has reduced its selling, right? So Bitcoin is likely very, very close to its next breakout move. And I actually think that this green line, these two green lines with our point of control right here, pretty much perfectly represents the next trading range. Even though we could get a quick test down to 51,000, and that would maybe even be nice, I would really like that. Kind of a last chance to dance moment for Bitcoin near these prices. We are going to rip up to around $68,000 to $70,000 quite quickly afterwards, and then we're going to test the top of this trading range here. This is going to be extremely important for the entire sector because first, well, we'll get to Ethereum in a minute, but I want to, because we're going to spend so much time this evening, and it's been a few days since I've been online, I really want to flesh out my thesis about the entire our collateral layer, right? Like every time I sell into assets, it's usually into USDT if we need capital for VC plays, or more importantly into Bitcoin because it has upside potential. It's generally more stable than the others, but it represents our collateral layer. We can use it to collateralize loans, to take out for DeFi plays, all sorts of fun stuff we can use Bitcoin for at a really, really, really fun playground type of level. So once we go to 70,000, we'll probably have a nice backup phase here. And I believe we're going to go to $120,000 for Bitcoin. So we effectively have the potential for another 100% gain from basically where we are today. Now, I believe that will be probably the end of the bull market to some degree, or at least the end of this cycle. Now, that brings us on to the rest of the charts. Boom. Ethereum has been absolutely face melting. And for those of you that have been in the private group for a while, you will remember that I've been saying for, what was this? It was almost like up 2-3 months. 90 days, yeah. For 90 days, I said Ethereum is going to melt people's faces soon. And a bunch of you guys, I remember, were complaining. You're like, oh, I thought you said Ethereum was going to melt faces. What are you doing? Well, look what it did. Timing and patience are so important. Knowing what the market is going to do is more important than knowing when it's going to, well, hold on. Let's make sure I say this correctly. Knowing what the market is going to do, I would rather be ahead of the curve than get in behind it. Most retail investors get in late. They're like, oh my God, I got to get into Ethereum finally at $3,040 or something ridiculous. We've been in Ethereum since $240. We started opening our long positions effectively. So when I say it's going to melt faces, I don't always mean tomorrow. Sometimes I mean 90 days from when we're talking about it, because time is irrelevant in this function, or rather time is relevant as long as you're patient. If you want to know what it's going to do tomorrow, I don't give a fuck what it's going to do tomorrow. I really don't care. I care what it's going to do over this 90-day extension. So we've seen this beautiful, beautiful cycle up in Ethereum, over almost 106% move in 30 days since then. This has been really beautiful. I didn't sell any of my Ethereum, although I did make a little conjecture just for fun we'll go over about the potential downside here, because we did see a lot of supply come into the market. I actually think that this was a lot of retail now. I wish we had some of the metrics that we have for Bitcoin on Ethereum, and I'm sure we'll get them in the future. For now, we don't have that. But this moment that was a little bit worrying very quickly was erased by a higher low and then a break outside of the box. What I believe to be now a big wave, a big C, right? I believe that this was basically our spring here, which is awesome. And we talked about this. We talked about this multiple times. So for those of you that are new to trading, you should know that the disease and the sickness of the new investor comes from over-emotional trading and a lack of education. One of the best ways to fix that is to join a group of people who are focused, dedicated, and have been here before, know the ropes, and know how to play. And if you like to try new things and consider yourself adventurous, go to arcanebear.com/private, or the links down below, and join our private group. We have access to a bunch of great content. I am not signed in right now. I'm going to have to log in. So give me 1 sec here. I'm going to quickly log into Arcane Bear. That way I can, I want to show you guys something here. Apparently it did not keep me logged in. This is a little bit of elevator waiting music while we load in the background. Okay, there we go. That should do it. Bam. Okay. So this moment here, arcanebear.com. Now that we're logged in through our nice little beautiful login portal here, this is what we want to do. We want to look at our Wyckoff trading ranges. So we've gone over this a few times. Yes, Wyckoff accumulation schematic, reaccumulation schematic 3. So this is one of the unique parts, and we're gonna. I really like this here. So, phase C is normally a spring. Usually goes below the trading range, but in reaccumulation schematic 3, generally phase C is above the box. And here you go, like bang, bang, bang into the top of the trading range. And this is what we saw with Ethereum, as we saw. Phase C actually was above the top of the trading range. This was an extraordinarily bullish moment. We went over this in our videos. Again, you know, there was reason where we said, look, I don't think this is distribution because we don't see the enormous supply signature on the buy side. It's only on the sell side. And generally, when these are distributions, like what Crypto got so horribly wrong because he knows nothing about what he's talking about, anyways, is that the schematic of distribution here is really defined by your supply signature, not the architecture of the trading range itself. So clearly, listening to people that don't know what they're talking about is a bad thing to do. And here's why: because they don't know what they're talking about. When you're looking for a distribution schematic, which would have been downside for Ethereum, it would have shown up in an extraordinarily high amount of supply onto the upside. So instead here, we saw the supply to the downside, and that's a bullish signal, not a bearish signal. Now, if it was the opposite, if this was these green signals down here were really high, like if these had switched, if this red bar here was over in the green here, and there was a little bit of red that caused that much down, well, that would have been distribution, right? Because it's not just about the architecture of the trading range. It's not just like, oh, look, this is a phase C. No, the other important part is the effort versus result idea that we've gone over so many times in the private group about these schematics. And lo and behold, we got an extraordinarily beautiful move straight up right afterwards on very limited supply. Now, we're getting into the last parts of this bull market cycle. Now, I remember when Ethereum was like, what, $380, and we talk about it going to 8,000. Everyone's like, oh, it'll never get to 8,000. Well, now everybody's saying it's going to 8,000. So what do you want to do? Do your fucking homework, ladies and gentlemen. The payoff is astronomical when you get it right. Okay, I hope that helps for Ethereum. I think, yes, we are going to probably see more upside. Again, we're running on limited supply right now, and we tested the top of this trading range really beautifully. If we actually go down to the 1 hour, you can see what might have actually potentially been another phase C, effectively, where a limited supply going into the uptick. Downtick was, again, only red supply signature to the downside and not a massive amount of supply going to the upside. So keep that in mind, that these are significantly different. You want to really keep it in your, like, the front of your pocket, that the supply signatures are as important to understanding the rest of these trading ranges, basically. So everything's looking beautiful here. I think we're probably going to around $8,000 Ethereum. I said that all the way back when Ethereum was $340. You can watch that video on my YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure we posted it in September. I have not budged on that once. Although, again, remind you, I did get a little weary of Ethereum, and I apologized for it afterwards. It was in one fell swoop. Anyways, we'll go over the next one. On to the next thing. Serum here. I'm a big fan of Serum. I've got a big position in Serum right now. I'm actually showing you guys some charts that I don't normally use here, and I want to talk about this. And actually, I'm going to take a drink because we've got another hour here. By the way, this is a company that I started. Shout out to Green Folk, the best tasting beverage in all of Costa Rica. I started this company 7 years ago, and it still runs, covers all of my costs today. Living in Costa Rica, I absolutely love it. It is delicious. Thank you, natural beverages. Anyways, next thing. Okay, wait, that's me there. Okay, here we go. So Serum. Let's go to the 6 hour chart to start off. Now this is a really messy chart, and I actually want it to be. So generally we try not to make charts messy. I generally try to remove a lot of indicators, but I've been building out an interest in using a few core key indicators, and we'll if you go to Arcane Bear, you follow us on TradingView. There's actually some free ones that we give away. I want to share something right now. So this is a little bit unusual for me. I generally suggest that everyone get rid of crap like this. Like, this looks so trashy to me. Like, all of this, like all of it, you know, even get rid of the candles for all I care. Most of the time when I chart, when I'm trying to make up my decision on my thesis, this is how I do it. I do it like this. Just volume and price spread effectively, right? That's it. That's all I try to do. This is basically how I like to leave my charts. I like to leave them as simple as possible. So Serum, I believe is extraordinarily undervalued right now. They've got like a $500 million market cap. It is in the FTX basket. Runs on Solana. Great play in my opinion. We took most of our entries around $6 here. We're already up 100% on that play for those of you that are in the private group on that one. Shout out to Mewtwo for bringing Serum to my eyes, because I did not know it was part of the FTX basket. I instantly fell in love with it because of that. And here we are today, sitting on a beautiful position and looking to go a lot higher. Now, what I want to get to is this dirty looking chart that I'm about to show you. So let's get rid of just hide drawings. Let's open up and use some more complex conjecture. So this is one of the, I want to go over a few things that I do use in my analysis sometimes. This is more for the advanced, the more advanced player, or for those of you that are studying and want to continue to grow your studies. Here we have basically a set of Bollinger Bands running around, right? These two blue lines, and maybe I should even make my area chart. Yeah, last price. Let's go pink. No. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Line chart. Let's go pink. Bing. There we go. Pink for now. That way it stands out against the rest of the price signature. Okay, so these bands are really helpful. I've started to really enjoy using the Bollinger Bands effectively for two reasons. Number one, it's just helpful to kind of see where the average of the price is. So we went over in our last videos about the creek and how the creek often will just move basically around the price signature. The Bollinger Bands are kind of another way to envision the creek effectively. So when I'm looking at the Bollinger Bands, I use these as my creek quite often. So if we go into the 1 hour, now I apologize if this is a little bit of a rantiness. What I want to do is look at the last like 2 or 3 days of Serum effectively. Get rid of those drawings one more time. Okay, look how we came right to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. We swung right beneath it. As soon as we closed above our moving averages, we started to move up again, and we're headed right towards the point of control, right? So a lot of the times people make the mistake of buying at the top, like way up here, right? Because, oh my God, Serum's going to $24, and then they have to sit through this entire downstroke. One of the fun things about the Bollinger Bands is that it can give you the opportunity to recognize when you're basically undervalued in a bull market on a pretty easy basis, and also when you're going to be bullish. So notice here, when we started to move above, as long as we stayed above the Bollinger Band and the moving averages here, we were moving up still. And here as well, we came in and we stayed above the Bollinger Band and got one last kick up. And as soon as we closed below here, boom, we went down afterwards. And that was not a small downwards movement either. 20%, right? A significant amount of capital on the downside. So let's make this chart even a little more messy. And normally, like I said, guys, I do not suggest doing this. I just want to try to get something I think is valuable across. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments down below if you feel this is valuable content. So right now I'm about to look at a 45-minute chart. Now, the next piece of data here that I want to include, and again, normally I try to get rid of all of this stuff while I'm chatting with you guys. And go over here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so let's use this chart. We're going to open this up. So see this extraordinarily ridiculous thing? I'm sure some of you guys have seen indicators like this. We're going to build a set of our own a little bit noisy. There's only a few valuable things that I'm interested in. Number one is this blue line here, and then this basically represents the edges of our Bollinger Bands effectively, right? So here the blue line is our Bollinger Bands, and the amount of sale price going below the Bollinger Bands. And every time the blue line or the sale, which is again the selling pressure, goes below the blue, this is like a good place to buy, right? And so what I'll do is I'm going to simplify this for you. So notice that every time you see the blue, especially the sale below the blue line, you have these white dots that show up. Let's look at the chart now. So every time that we broke below the Bollinger Band here, what do we get? Oh, a buy signal, a buy signal, a buy signal, and then just the other day, a buy signal. Well, why, right? Because these are super confusing. If you don't know what they do, you're just like, oh my God, there's a lot of shit going on the screen right now. Like, what does any of it mean? You don't need it to actually use it, and that's the important part to understand here. Is that we went under the Bollinger Band on that drop the other day for Serum at around $8.40. This was a great place to acquire more, and we're headed up right up. But look. See how they line up below the Bollinger Band? Boom, buy signal. Right at the bottom of the of the channel, basically. Boom, buy signal. So below the band was a buy signal because we are still in the bull market. Now, effectively, if we did this, if we came below and then we could not close above, and this is not distribution, we would go down, right? It would be a distributional moment. But we use these in. Oh, Amir, thank you for that. I want to give a shout out to the Bosnian Dragon as well, by the way, for all of you in the private group. He is getting promoted to a polar bear for all of his ridiculous plays and his Donald Pump nonsense, or not nonsense, I guess. I only say nonsense because I love the randomness of life, and I truly mean that. I now more and more live my portfolio thesis by the idea of heads I win, tails I only lose a little. And if you truly repeat that mantra to yourself and you understand what it means on a day-over-day basis, you will be extraordinarily successful. Your route to hundreds of millions of dollars is actually relatively easy. So shout out to Admir for the Bosnian Dragon for playing along and really kind of highlighting some of the unique aspects of heads I win, tails I only lose a little. So thank you for the super chat there, Mr. Dragon. We love having you in the private group, and thank you for playing along and joining in the fun with us as well. Have a great time. So I just wanted to go over that. I wanted to share some of these charts. I know a lot of YouTubers make their charts look ridiculous, and it's usually unvaluable to do so. I like to clean them up. I like to remove everything, but every now and then just to confirm, yep, boom, below the supply line. And again, look how well these lined up, right? You have a trigger below, first off, below the Bollinger Band, but also below our long-term rising gradient bottom. I think Serum is going to absolutely explode over the next little while, even though we could have, let's say, like another 2 to 3 weeks of consolidation in this backup phase. Let's say maybe even 40 days of consolidation in this backup phase. I think we're going to see at least another 100 to 200% out of Serum before we move forward. Avalanche. Now, for Bowen in the private group, if you're listening, you had asked a question about distribution. And I didn't mean to sound like a dick the other day. I was just I like to be playful and fun and say silly things. I wanted to go over Avalanche. I'm a big fan of Avalanche. It is highly undervalued. Oh, and on the 14th of May, we have Emin Gunn, the CEO and founder of Avalanche, coming on the show. I think that this is extraordinary valuable tech. And again, look at the potential here, guys. So generally, I don't always show you guys the Bollinger Bands, but today I want to show you guys a bit more of it. Again, I just don't like to do it on average because it makes the chart look so messy. And here you go. The only times we saw two big clear buy signals, and I kind of fucked this one up. I was a little early. I doubled down on my positions in Avalanche over here because we had a dip like right into the bottom of the Bollinger Band here, and clearly I had to wait that one out for longer than I would have wanted to. But we had our first big spring here. I believe this was the spring, also highlighted again by the two big dips below the Bollinger Bands on the 4 hour. And now we've jumped. I'll get rid of this messiness just for a second. We'll kind of clear it out. Bam. Okay, here we go. Yes. So we've had this consistent kind of increasing depth of the supply line. So I've started to more and more watch these very hard angled supply lines, and just to see how they evolve over time. One sec here. Let me clean this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Back to our normal charting style. And again, look what happens when I remove the wicks and we go just to the area chart. See this little dip below the line here could even just like make a cleaner widening megaphone pattern here as well. Probably like that actually is a better idea. Boom, there we go. Just like this. So we've seen these consistent widening price and then drops, widening price and then a drop. There's a lot of really kind of early investors in Avalanche that I think are rather, let's call them retail in general. We're already up 3,300% on this play from some of our initial price entries. It is looking very, very powerful. We closed above the main point of control here, very, very strong 3 times now. I'm looking for a run. Well, it could go a lot freaking higher, but this is probably the finality before Avalanche goes into face melty mode. So we're keeping a close eye on that. I wanted to go over waves. A bunch of you guys had asked, and you'd pointed out, where was it? This? Yes. I signed up for waves. I played around. I looked around too. They've got this really interesting like USDT to Lambo idea that they've gone over as well. I guess they're offering 60% per annum in USDT by using their algorithmic trading strategy. Now, I'm not a huge fan of trading strategies in terms of like algorithms, but also we do know that people like Jim Simmons did extraordinarily well off following trading algorithms. So it works, obviously. But this USDT Lambo I thought was really fun. It says, so they're fixing profits of around 63% per annum, which is fantastic. Note we are also in a bull market. So for the year, that's probably about average, basically. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, back to the chart. Look how well Waves has performed. And I want to point this out too. A lot of you will already probably instantly recognize what's coming. Da, 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 ba, ba, da, da. It is a widening megaphone pattern. This is one of our favorites. I wish I had seen this a little bit earlier. These things are so beautiful. They're probably the most powerful pattern leaving out the back end of a trading range. Waves was absolutely phenomenal in terms of price structure here. I wish that I wish I had seen this earlier. It was my fault. There's just so much going on. But again, for those of you that are studying with us, look how well these widening megaphone patterns pay off. Hugely powerful in the long term. What do we get just from the middle of the box already? 160%. And where are we at from July? From June, 2,800%. Yes. I love bull markets. Absolutely amazing. So Waves has put some really cool stuff together. Again, remember, there are not too many exchanges where you can operate with low liquidity fees. Woo is another one. Again, playing around with some of this stuff is important. Just like Serum, I think going and playing around with these new decentralized indexes and decentralized trading platforms is such a smart idea. Like more so than just investing too, guys. Understand that your ability to participate, to teach yourself. People are always like, oh my God, where should I buy Bitcoin? Fucking learn. It is so valuable to go out and learn more about stuff. I highly suggest you just play around more. In general, just play around. It's going to be so valuable for you. It's like one of the most valuable things you can do is just kind of get out there and see what's going on. Yeah. So Waves is another great example of the widening megaphone pattern and an exchange that offers some really cool features as well. Again, there's so many things to play out with right now. Like I can't keep up. Clearly, I can't keep up. Almost running out of breath here. It's probably about 40 minutes into the conversation though too, I guess. So we'll do a few more. Which ones did I want to go over? Oh yeah, Matic. We did a live video about Matic the other day. We'll just go over Matic quickly as well. Really beautiful trading ranges and a really beautiful widening megaphone pattern. Boom, here we are. Matic looking sexy as fuck. And there we go. See that green? That's what the widening megaphone pattern looks like. And look at the explosive results you get out of the widening megaphone pattern. Yeah, Matic at $1.14 already. Look at that quick dip down to the top of the trading range. Boom, up 40% in less than a few days. 3 days it took to that retest of 89 cents, and then bam, up to 38%. And we kind of gone over this in our previous Matic video. Where was it? No, this one. Yes, here. Okay, so if we go back and we're going to take a look at Matic. The liquid supply of Matic right now is very, 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 very thin. That was probably enough varies. So we're going to go to supply. No, that's not right. They're one. Oh, exchanges. That's what it is. Okay, we're going to the exchange balance stacked percent. We'll just use percent here. It's cleaner. Okay. So we're going to zoom out a little bit. I want to show you something ridiculous. Actually, let's use the line here. It'll be a little bit clearer. Okay, so from March, we went from 26% of all Matic on open exchanges when we were at 10 cents to down to 3% of Matic on the open exchanges. Right now, Matic is in a ridiculous place. This Matic will go absolutely haywire up or down because there's such a thin supply on the open market right now. Really important to remember this, that as the supply decreases, the volatility increases. Look how quickly it grew from 89 cents all the way up to $1.40. Basically 40% in like a day and a half. Absolutely beautiful move by Matic. I suspect that it will continue until you start to see this supply turn around. Matic's price is going to continue to go up. As soon as you see the supply start to decrease, then you'll be able to take a look at it, some noticeable downside incoming as well. Yes, I do have Emin coming on the show. Very excited to have him on. I'm very excited for that conversation. I'm a huge fan of Avalanche, as I'm sure all of you know. My throat is getting sore from talking already. I've been very excited. We're going to leave it at that. It's been 40 minutes. I thought I was going to hang out for hours with you guys, and maybe actually we will. Maybe we'll just tell you what we'll do. We're just going to shit talk for a little bit instead. So we're going to leave the charts open, and we'll just take a look at some thoughts and questions you guys have. What do you think about Shiba? I have no idea. It looks like people made some money off of it. I'm absolutely stoked for all the madness. Enjoy the bull market. It is full of fun things to play around with. Just remember, heads I win, tails I only lose a little, and you'll be well on your way to monumental success doing that. Ever looked at Thorchain Ruin? Nope, I have not. If you're in the green, sell. I just missed $2,000 by not selling. Do not listen to MG Ultra. $2,000 is chump change. Anyone who's worried about $2,000 from not selling doesn't know what they're doing yet. I would ignore that. Just because you're in the positive doesn't mean you should sell. As a matter of fact, what it means you should do is probably read more books. Ethereum just went past 4250. Boom, look at that. We're getting a nice little run out of Ethereum here right now. Ding. New all-time high for Ethereum, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good feeling. Look at that. Sexy. Thank you. Have a drink, Tio. I will drink more of my own beverage here that a beautiful woman bought me this morning. I love when people buy you your own drink. It's fantastic. I feel like I'm accomplished in life. Make a video on DOT, please? Sure. Try to do that. I'm 20% in USDT. Where would you be looking to place it? That we don't answer questions like that here. We strictly provide you value that helps teach you to learn how to make valuable investments over the long term, not these short-term thought processes. Thoughts on VeChain? Yeah, it's done well. Books and Bear BNB, nice, yeah. I love reading, guys. I highly suggest reading. Whether it's white papers, PDFs, or general books, reading is a source to more information, and it will only make your life more valuable as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I love you guys. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Ethereum's at a new all-time high. Looking fantastic right now. I think the bull market is finally in the face melting place that we had talked about for the last, 90 days, I guess we went over. So thank you guys all for supporting the Arcane Bear. Remember that bull markets don't last forever. So join us by going to any of these social media links down below and join our private group. Our private group is absolutely invaluable to learn. I think generally people make the mistake of thinking too short term, and it doesn't bode you well if you have a short term horizon. You need to be able to think about 10-year process. Oh, Thomas asks, what's the flavor of your drink? It is ginger tonic. It is all natural ginger tonic. So this is an all organic beverage that we make that is ginger, lemons, papa dulce, and water. That's it. That's the flavor too. Sometimes I make a little bit of a black label beverage. You guys asked about 1 inch. I'm gonna start doing shorter videos. I had a bunch of headaches this week, so I didn't do as many videos as I had hoped. I'll go over 1 inch tomorrow. But I think I'm allergic to wheat personally. I think that's what happened. Because I ate a bunch of sandwiches this week and I just had crazy freaking headaches. Yeah, I just had some crazy freaking headaches. So I'm back. I'm not going to eat bread anymore, and you guys will get more videos from me. Short, concise updates. Maybe I'll even try to see what it takes to fire out like 3 in a day and see how you guys kind of digest that. And we'll just go through the whole list. Bang, 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 and then try to get almost the whole portfolio done in the course of a week and see how you guys enjoy it. We're going to leave it at that. Thank you all for joining us. Tea with the Arcane Bear. Remember to give us a thumbs up. Enjoy this content. If you enjoyed this content, it's getting a little late, as you can tell. What else? Oh yeah, like, subscribe to any of the social media channels down below if you like, or if not, whatever. It's up to you. Do whatever you'd like. No, do exactly what I tell you. I am God. That's obviously not true. I'm just a peasant human who likes to sit outside and eat mushrooms. Play music. Oh, and I'm, because of all you guys might like music, and that's like a consistent thing we've seen. Let's see here. Maybe we'll end the show by playing a little bit of guitar, because I know a bunch of you guys like that as well. Let's see if it's in tune right. Yeah, it seems to be. Up above on a snow-peaked mountain, looking down to the valley of green below, where the rain as sun shines down them. It'll be okay, 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 I know. Through the forest and daylit pathways, shine your light and lead the way. You'd always help remind me that it's gonna be okay. You'd always help remind me that it's gonna be okay. Up above on a snow-peaked mountain, looking down to the valley of green below, and where the rain, the sun shines down them. It'll be okay, 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 I know. It'll be okay, okay, I know. Anyways, Tea with the Arcane Bear, thank you guys for joining us on a little bit of a musical episode for the last part there. Oh, for those of you that don't know, I love music. I also love the wind. I'm a big fan of like green plants. I also like orange fruits. Sometimes I'm a big fan, like purple fruits are great too, like the mangosteen. Anyways, just in case you guys wanted to know, enjoy yourself, do some more meditation, spend time doing yoga, tell your family, your friends that you love them. This life is short. It is full of things that we do not expect. So be as grateful for all of those unexpected things as they come. And we'll see you guys again on the next episode. Thank you for joining us. This is Tea with the Arcane Bear.